Hey everybody, good morning. It's about 8:30 in the morning here on Thursday, the 22nd of December 2022. It's been a really fun week. What I want to do is I want to continue to take a look at alts that have been sort of beaten up. But before I get into all of this, as you all know, this is not financial advice. I'm not your financial advisor. You're responsible for your own trades, managing your own risk, doing your own research, and this is just my opinion on the market. So let's go ahead and move on into the Solana chart. Okay, so, I'm on the daily here. I'm looking at it, sort of long term. Going back to Binance, which I believe was the first exchange that listed Solana. So I went back into the history here. It looks like Solana announced, I think in April. It was right around in April when Binance announced that it would list Solana on his platform. And then, of course, the chart here starts in August of 2020. So, there's likely some price action that we can't see here that happened, like pre-listing on exchanges when it was, when there's no price action on a chart that you can see. So what I've got here in the very beginning, this is more than likely incorrect, but I'm kind of going off of what I have available to me here. What this looks more like, just for the record, it looks more like this is the one, right? So we've got like a 0 somewhere back here. It looks like this is a 1 and a 2 right here. Now, we don't have the price action to go back when it was, for example, when it was announced and when it was available, maybe through some kind of a swap on your wallet, something like that. So there's no price action. So I'm going to say that this is the 1 and this is the 2, because that's what it looks most like, which puts the 1 here and then the 2 here, and then we get the 3. This looks like a 4, and then we go up into a 5. Nice triangle here. We've actually already talked about this previously, that this looks like we've got the compressionary phase going on here before it eventually broke out, and then we completed a little 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 5 here into wave 5, which would be the completion of potentially a wave 1, right? So ideally that's what you would expect to see. Now, is it realistic for me to say that Solana is actually going to bypass these highs here at $245 and continue higher? We're just going to have to wait and see, right? Elliott wave theory can only take you so far into giving you sort of a helping hand to make a determination when something is going to bounce, right? Elliott wave theory is very subjective, and so what that means is, I can interpret this chart many different ways. I only say that because, if this does happen to go past these highs at 245, even a move from here up to all-time high, that's 2,000%, right? And for it to actually go to what a wave 3 target would actually look like, that would be kind of crazy. Although it's not out of the question. There was a point where Ethereum only cost a couple dollars and then it moved up to $4,000. So, when all of the FUD is done here, when all of the fear, uncertainty, and doubt is over, then this is going to be a good buy. But again, determining how high it can go after that, that's going to be the real kicker. Are we going to go to new highs, or are we just going to get a bounce here before we actually go lower? A really good example, I'm just going to kind of give kind of an analogy here, is Tron, right? If I take a look at Tron versus Bitcoin, for example, we're going to go all the way back to 2017, right? When Tron, right, I'm going to go right back here. Tron here in December of 2017 was all the way down at like 18, 19, 20 Satoshis, right? And then it went all the way up to 2,000, right? All the way up here. It went all the way up to 2,050. So that was a parabolic move, right? So we're taking a look at this. It went up almost 12,000%. and then we started this correction. So right now where Solana is, it's going to be real similar to like where we are, kind of right here or potentially right here. And you would think to yourself, all right, well, we've got a good retracement here, so now we're going to go to new highs. Now, we don't have to go to new highs, right? Yeah, we got a decent bounce off of this, and it actually went 240%, almost 250%. But then what ended up happening, right? So we had a good bounce, and then it actually went to new lows. Now, of course, we're still higher here compared to where we were back here. But are we going to continue going all the way up here to new highs? That's a stretch. I'm not so sure that that's on the cards, because when altcoins continue to rise, Bitcoin dominance continues to fall, right? So if I take a look at Bitcoin dominance, we are at an area where Bitcoin dominance is at kind of a bottom down here. You can see all the way back here in May of 2021, significant bottom, significant bottom, significant bottom, significant bottom, and we're bottoming here some more. Now, I do preach that the more times something is tested, the higher the probability that it falls through. But we need to really break through that 40% for more than a few days for us to continue moving lower. And, I guess just for clarity, for us to move lower would be down here to this target, which would be at about 33.5%. So there's still, significant downside if we can break through 40%. But as of right now, we're sort of in this range on dominance. I only bring this up because of the importance of it, right? So we're inside of this range. We're bouncing inside of this range. So what's the probability? The probability right now is that Bitcoin dominance continues to move up. Which means, one of two things. Either alts are going to just completely fall, or Bitcoin is going to rip. And I don't know that we've really got evidence that, we're going to have a significant move here in the near future, but just take a look and see what's going to happen early next year after the yearly pivot, and then we'll make a determination based off of that. But at any rate, let's go back to Solana and just do a few little measurements here just to see, where things are. How do things look? Are we actually in a wave 4, right? Is this a large 1, 2? And then we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, and then we're in a complex correction for a wave 4. And I'll tell you that the structure doesn't really look like a wave 4 to me compared to this first move here, right? So if this is wave 3, we're going into wave 4. Well, wave 3, how long did wave 3 take? Wave 3 took 319 days. How long have we been in wave 4? So far, we've been in it for 413 days, right? And potentially we could be in this for, another 60, 70, 80 days. But where have we gone in relative price action to this dominant pivot low here and this dominant pivot high here, okay? Well, we're right here in the middle of the 50 and the 618. So we're not really in an area where we would find a technical bounce. What I can say is that we do have some support that was created back here based off of this high, which is right there at about 1187, right? And we're at 1206 right now. We're basically right there sitting on support. That 618, we'll put the golden zone on here. Let me throw my template here for the golden zone. That's going to be sitting down here. And if this hits, right? So if this hits, again, at the New Year pivot, right? If we get the B here and we get the C here, that would suffice for me, at least, that we get a good, get a pivot up and out of here. I think we still need to get that one more move down, and then we can see a move up. Now, how high can we possibly go? Well, let me go ahead and throw my EWT on this again. So, the target would be sitting up here at about $950. And for a move down here to the 618 at 850, that's something, and we were talking about this on the Discord. I just made a long-term crypto purchase, and I'd be willing to do that on Solana as well, right? If we were to get down here into this golden zone between the 618 and the 65, especially down here at this channel low, which I'll talk about that channel low here in just a second, get our long position on here, take it off of the lows of this channel, and able to get a move up there, that is 12,000%. Now, the probability that it's actually going to go that high, it's pretty low, but it's it's worth it to to give it a shot. Let's go ahead and put our stop here at like $3, just so that we can just show it here on the screen and then move it up. So somewhere along there, that's a 45% stop loss. Now, I was giving a discussion on the server this morning that it's best to buy alts that have drained 95% or so from their all-time high. Now let's see where Solana is at so far. Solana is down 95%. If it goes down here to this area at about $8, we'll call it $8, that would be almost a 97% drop. That that equals what I consider a completed bear cycle on an altcoin. Now again, you can see here, obviously it can go lower, right? And there's no rhyme or reason to say why it should go lower or that it will go lower, but it can go lower, which is why what I do with my altcoins is not the same as what I do with like Bitcoin and some other larger alts like Cardano or Ethereum or Litecoin, for example. I take small amounts and I spread them out, and with the theory that a couple of them might hit that home run, right? I'm not saying that Solana is going to go to $950. I'm saying that that would be my price target for the next major alt season, and we'll get another alt season. There's no doubt about that. But the big question is, which alt is it going to be? So I try and position myself among many different alts, and Solana looks good as long as it can do one more capitulation move here. Now, I do want to talk about this channel because, as you can see, I don't have any touches on this bottom channel at all. However, what I do have, excuse me, I have a touch here and a touch here, which is where I created this upper rail, and then I've got a pivot right here. And this is what I'm using as my basis. And what I found was when I did that, we found resistance at this same median line, and then we found some support here as well before we eventually fell through. And I would expect that we do, again, I've mentioned this before, I refer to it as a range expansion, where we have this range here that we were in, we continue to find it as support and resistance, and then when we break through it, I would really expect that this is going to push down and touch that lower rail before it makes a move up and out of here. Now, again, for a move to go crazy like this, it's probably not going to happen next year. Sorry, guys. But that doesn't change the fact that I'm willing to position myself for a move up there, right? So if we get down here to this area, this would be my area that I'm interested in buying. And if I can buy anywhere between $8 and $5, I am more than happy to do that. Just again, it's a risk. Any altcoin is a risk because all altcoins are basically a scam. They're only there for the purpose of taking money from you. But if you play them right, then you can hit that home run. And you have to be very careful about how you do that. But nonetheless, Solana potentially down just a little bit more. The upside is very, very high. And again, just looking at this, if you have something that's $8 and your target is $950, I mean, that's 12,000%, right? You can take $1 and you can, sort of change your life a little bit. But, buying, a reasonable amount, nothing that's going to completely bankrupt you if it goes to zero, because quite frankly, some of them will go to zero, right? Some of them will collapse and they'll be worth nothing. Some of them may even do something that Luna did, right? May do something that, the FTX token did, and BitConnect. All of these different scams that we've had in the past. And I'm not saying that Solana is a scam, but I'm saying altcoins in general are. So that's how I play these. I spread across, 10 or 15 different alts with a small amount of capital, with the thought process that it will only take 2 or 3 to, one, cover my initial investment of all 15, and two, completely obliterate profit targets with that cash. So that's my thought process there. Again, Solana short term, I wouldn't be taking any leverage or anything like this. If I was, I'd probably be looking short, at least going into the new year. But again, even that, be very careful because we're sitting right on support. Now, take a look at the Wave Master here. In all of Solana's history, we've only had a couple points in time where the green and the yellow wave have been down here in oversold the way that they are right now. One would be right back here where we had a decent bounce. We had a move down and a decent bounce out of there. We had a couple back here as well. So we had, a little bit of a bounce there, obviously a bigger bounce there and a larger bounce here. But now we're to the point where the red and the white wave are also down here as well, which means, well, one, it means the bears are in control. Sellers are in control. That's why things get oversold, is because sellers are in control. As somebody on the server just said yesterday or the day before, buyers create new lows, right? So looking down here, you've got a lot of people buying, and it's going to create new lows here, and then sellers create new highs. So that sounds like a complete paradigm shift to the way that you think about things, but one more move down here would complete what I've got here as an Elliott wave correction, and from here there's really good potential there that this could do very, very well. And again, Solana right now is down 95% from its highs. I'd like to see it go down another 1 or 2% from there. Going down like 97% or so would be ideal. That would be right there at $7.95, $8, almost at 97%. And then from there, I'm willing to buy it, and I'm willing to hold it, and I'm willing to let it go to zero. And again, with the thought process that a couple of these that I buy are going to shine, right? And Solana might be that, Solana might not, but nonetheless, that's the way that I'm doing this. So again, I made another purchase earlier today of something that's down over 95% from the highs, and I'll be looking to do that as well with other things, including Cardano, which Cardano is also down over 90% from its highs as well. So those are the things that I'm looking for. So just to kind of give you kind of a view into into where I am on altcoins. I've seen it time and time again. Buying things that are completely beaten up are usually the ones that tend to surprise you. No guarantees, but that's what the thought process is. All right, guys. Hey, if this video did help you in any way, shape, or form, you know the deal. Like, subscribe, share. If you need access to our Discord, there is a link in the video description. If you'd like access to our insured area where we do give our alerts and our assistance and education. We also trade options on the stock market, all day long as well. So if that's something that you're into, you can find information about all of that on BitDoctor.org. And also, if you want access to our WaveMaster indicator, you can find that on BitDoctor.org, including access to our new volume analysis tool, which I also have started to include in my charts and my videos as well. And hey, last but not least, wherever you are in the world, I hope you're having a good day, good night, and good evening. Take care, everyone.